I think one of video games' greatest strengths as a medium is the ability to immerse the player in a completely unfamiliar world. The appeal of a mysterious unclaimed territory feels like it triggers some ancient human need to explore and traverse the unknown, and there have been many games that play on this fantasy. But few have captured that childlike glee of imagination and wonder, quite like this hidden gem. Lil Gator Game, released by developer Megawobble, is, well, delightful. There's no other word for it. The game presents a grand virtual playground to explore, filled with cute and charming characters. The premise is simple. You, intrepid kid hero, let's call you Gator for short, are trying to get your old sister who's back from college into the old make-believe game you two used to play. To do this, you'll gather friends from all across the island, traverse harsh wilderness, defeat deadly enemies, and even talk about your feelings. With nothing but a stick and a shield by your side, it's up to you to mend friendships and learn what it means to grow up. Lil Gator Game strips away all the unnecessary fluff and focuses on the highly refined fundamentals of what makes a game world fun. And even more than that, the game motivates the player to journey through the world with excellent character writing and an unbelievable amount of charm. In spite of, or perhaps because of the cute and colorful art style, Lil Gator Game allows itself to have one of the most refined and vibrant game worlds in recent years. But what it does to make the player feel that sense of wonder is truly amazing. Join me, friends, as we discover how Lil Gator Game invites you to play. It's important to closely analyze why Lil Gator Game's moment-to-moment gameplay works so well. Lil Gator Game takes clear inspiration from open-world exploration games, most chiefly The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. The similarities aren't subtle, but let's focus on what makes these games so viscerally satisfying. At their core, exploration games should make navigating their space fun, and the key is two essential components: the world itself and how the player can move through it. Lil Gator Game's world is beautiful and dynamic. The geography of the island means you'll be constantly climbing up to survey the world for your next move. There's an amazing amount of verticality on display in such a condensed space. The world never feels flat, and you'll be constantly going up and down to traverse to your next mission. Each part of the world has a distinct visual theme, so even if you get lost, you know what hub area is nearby. Friends are often visible from far away, so the levels act as mini challenges to reach them. Moving through the island is incredible, because in addition to having great controls, Lil Gator Game gives the player simple but dynamic movement options. Gator can climb on almost any surface, but with a limited stamina pool, so figuring out how to manage stamina across tricky heights becomes a welcome challenge. Gator also gets a glider and a shield to allow for even more options. The glider lets you cheat on horizontal jumps and smooth out your landings. It also gives you an insane level of horizontal movement as you descend. The shield does nothing in combat, but presents another movement option with a very high skill ceiling: shield sliding. By timing your jumps, you can reach top speed very quickly, but it has a defined limit and a narrow window. And through new quests, you can unlock more tools like the balloon that lets you gain more vertical movement at a high stamina cost. These options combine to make a system where you have limitless options to go through the island, and makes repeat backtracking infinitely more interesting. And you'll be using all your tools regularly, particularly because of a very important omittance. It's very simple: no quest markers and no mini-maps. This completely changes how you see the island. How many times in games with beautiful and painstakingly rendered worlds do you spend the majority of your time laser-locked on a boring, hyper-functional mini-map in the bottom corner? I'm not the first person to raise this critique, but it's pretty jarring to walk through a beautiful game world and then be encouraged through convenience to ignore most of it to gawk at the most glaringly loud UI element. Lil Gator Game cheekily evades all of this by forcing the player to explore and remember where everything is located. Each major quest hub is located with a distinct landmark, with environmental details noting the location. When you arrive and begin talking to each group of friends, all their quests branch out in the same area, which you most likely explored a decent amount before arriving there. The landscape and the lack of markers teaches you about the level before you are asked to traverse it. It's very easy to return to the central spot, and no quest will lead you very far away from a hub. Lil Gator Game preserves a sense of wonder and mystery for its world by hiding quests and loot locations. There's a much more tactile joy to finding a new story beat, or a friend tucked away in the landscape, when you didn't have a glowing neon arrow telling you, dialogue this way. The world feels much more real when each discovery is your own. But what further fleshes this out is a wondrous sense of play. Charm is subjective, and what each person finds cute or funny is up to them, but I like to highlight here just how much effort Lil Gator Game puts into making the world feel like a playground. The game wants to evoke a feel of childlike innocence and adventure, and it delivers it through the disruptive nature of your abilities and actions. There's a ton of little details that solely exist to make you feel like a scamp, a rascal, if you will, for causing chaos in the world. Little bits of world building, like the signs telling you not to have fun in each area, or the offbeat dialogue options. The art style really sells all the character designs. Even those without lips have super clear expressions. Gator in particular has great movement animation, and their large mouth and eyes do incredible work to emphasize the dialogue. Even besides that, the tools you use and the costume pieces you wear revel in nostalgic iconography, from lightsabers to Naruto headbands, and with cute descriptions to match. These little touches further emphasize the imagination of your playtime adventure. It's really cute, but what ties all these factors together is the game's lovable cast. Lil Gator Game's characters are hilarious and charming. The dialogue is punchy and packed with earnestness. The way that Gator interacts with each new friend always left me smiling, even for the most trivial of quests. Shout out to Skatepug. But where the writing really shines is through the central cast of Gator, their friends, and Big Sis. The main friends, Martin, Jill, and Avery. No, that's not me saying it weird, their name is literally always shown with an exclamation mark next to it. I love this game. Each embodies the pains and worries about growing up. Martin wants to seem cool to his friends, Jill wants to get into a difficult scholarship, and Avery always has trouble focusing on connecting their friends together. Each of them have a group of quest friends that reflect the same type of anxiety as they do. All of Martin's friends are insecure and don't want to come off as weird. All of Jill's friends want to finish their research projects, and Avery's can't work together. I love how helping each of the minor friends helps you understand the worries of the main ones, and Gator's response to the subquests foreshadows the future solution. For example, when Martin shuts off the water, Gator goes around to each of the cool kids. Everyone has convinced themselves that the others would find them lame for wanting to turn the water back on, even though they personally want it back. Gator shakes them back into sense by being so self-assured that their insecurity fades away. It leads to several cute moments where Gator's sincerity bulldozes through their skepticism and anxiety. This pattern continues for the other quests, but these are all leading up to the heart of the story. Now here is the central emotional crux of Lil Gator Game's narrative. The relationship between Gator and their sis is the reason why they started the game in the first place. And throughout your exploration, you'll occasionally see little memories of your time with her. After assembling all your friends and building up the fortress, they come together, and after your failed attempt to get Sis to see your work, make you look inside and confront what's really going on. What follows is a genuinely captivating emotional catharsis as Gator realizes the reason behind the game in the first place. As you walk through Gator's memories, they realize that every time they've played together, it was Sis making the rules and the story for Gator, and that each time Gator asked to play, they were putting that pressure on them. When Big Sis left for school, the two stopped playing, and despite everything you've worked to gather the friends, it doesn't mean a thing if you couldn't make her happy. Gator sits down and thanks Big Sis. And this moment is so sweet, not just because Gator finally has realized why they wanted to go through all of this, but why it meant so much to them. They thank Big Sis for being there with them in spite of all their schoolwork and stress. And then, perspective shifts, and we see the story from the eyes of Big Sis. We watch as her dream of creating a game world as vivid as the one she imagined unfolds into a grueling barrage of extra work and isolation from her sibling. And having realized that she started this dream in the first place, she finally takes a damn break. She's awestruck by your efforts and amazed by your talents, and she realizes that she does not have to destroy her own sanity for what she wants to achieve. She allows herself to relax, because you have shown her what really matters. The final segment of Lil Gator Game is an amazing moment of reflection and a heartfelt look at the anxieties of growing up. Big Sis wanted to push herself to create the kind of game she loved making up, but the work and school required to make that dream happen made her too busy to engage with the person who inspired her in the first place. Gator, in not knowing how to deal with this change, just tried to pretend things were the same, which only made Big Sis feel worse and more isolated. But it was through Gator's love for the craft and heart their sister had put into it that Gator was able to gather friends and support to help them realize how they felt. The beauty of Lil Gator Game's story is that it shows you how the love and passion for those around you inspires them to be by your side in your own moments of doubt. Lil Gator Game combines incredibly robust gameplay with cute and heartwarming character writing. It offers a beautiful world that feels satisfying to explore through its movement system, but it also gives that world heart by filling it with characters that give your actions meaning. It's a sweet and wholesome experience, because you explore not to make yourself stronger or destroy some great threat, but because you want to make something with the people you love. That's a beautiful message, and it's how Lil Gator Game invites you to play. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, and subscribe if you want to see more like this in the future. Let me know in the comments if there's another indie game you think I should check out. I'd love to see it. Take care, and have a good day.